Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Historical Humans Reacts. And today we are reacting to an article that, well, we'll just read the title. A lost language translated from ancient tablets reveals names of gods in stunning find. So, yet another ground shattering archaeological discovery that is revolutionizing our understanding of the past.
Well, here's the thing. This you say that as it's kind of place, but this one really does take the cake as far as things that we have covered before. Um, and I say that not I don't say that very lightly, as the language in question here is was known as sorry, my throat is closing up here, but uh, it was only known in a handful of nouns prior to the discovery of this and translation of this tablet. It was so sparsely recorded that many people actually believed it didn't exist and it was just simply words or bastardized loan words from other languages that we didn't recognize.
The name of
Um,
that language is the Amorite language, by the way.
Yes, Amorite. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't find it. Yeah. This language is Amorite. It is a precursor of Hebrew. So it is a very old language. Predates the Old Testament. I believe the tablet in question translates it to Babylonian Akkadian language and is about 4,000 years old. Um,
And these tablets aren't a new discovery either. They were actually discovered decades ago in Iraq and were housed in separate collections as a part of the Jonathan and Jeanette Rosen Cuneiform Collection and the other in a private collection in London. However, researchers since 2016 have been studying the tablets, which have been, like you mentioned, reflected or compared to the Rosetta Stone because it's helped completely revolutionize what we actually know about Amorite.
Now, the key with the Rosetta Stone analogy is the Rosetta Stone contains several different languages repeating the same message on it as a sort of means of translation. I believe the Rosetta Stone was a treatise between nations, and thus, every nation that was involved had their language on it so that everyone could read what was written there. These tablets have on one side the Babylonian language of Akkadian,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other side, the Semitic language of Amorite, which was so very, very limited in its representation in its written form that survives, which is it's very good to have. And was it this? I think it's time to talk about the gods because it
Yeah,
names
because
the
it
gods.
it says like each deity explained in the right hand column as a counterpart of a Babylonian pantheon.
Yeah. So basically, it's a religious translation of how, say, our gods match to your gods. This is something that you see a lot of times in polytheistic communities, especially say the Roman Empire, which comes along, some 2,000 years after this tablet, where they will go around and they will sort of find the nearest equivalent of it within their own pantheon to your gods and basically say, "Oh, you worship this uh, river healing goddess of nature. Well, that sounds a lot like Diana. You just know her by a different name." And they'll sort of compare them side by side. Julius Caesar has a famous text where he talks about how the chief god among the Celts is Mars instead of Jupiter, and it's like he explains away a bunch of like that's basically what this tablet appears to do is sort of provide a religious index.
It's
Hey, you
all,
can never go wrong with that.
but
Yeah.
see, here's the thing that's already phenomenal and great that it does that. But these tablets instantly jump up to the next level of incredible and impressive, and they shouldn't exist. Is the fact that the tablets and the inscriptions they look very similar, and the content is the singularity of the two tablets' content indicates that they may even come from the same scriptorium, but they are so similar in their handwriting that it might even potentially be from the exact same scribe.
Yeah, yeah. There was no need for a third party translator because the scribe was bilingual, and that's something that's very important because bilingualism that only happens, especially in ancient societies where resources are limited, when it is very necessary. The two cultures, the two languages, had to be in very close contact for there to be a need for an Amorite or an Akkadian to speak the other's language well and be able to write in it.
Also, I would like to point out bilingualism is actually pretty common in a lot of the world, and even in
Yes,
the ancient past.
yeah,
It's
but
just in America we are just
well,
so heavily against it.
well, Aaron, that's not necessarily the point
Bilinguals
I'm
in
making.
my
The point I'm making is
neighborhood.
that in the ancient world, bilingualism was usually who has a border with you.
Oh yeah, no.
Like in modern times, someone in Spain might learn Afrikaans because they want to, but South Africa and Spain share no border. Whereas in ancient times, usually you were translating to whatever the people who either were a part of your empire or were on the borders of your empire spoke. You're not learning a language from halfway around the world or even from a few countries over.
I might have to disagree just a little bit, just because borders in the ancient world are not as solid as like we might think. There is a lot of movement of people, so I'm not saying like necessarily that like they're gonna learn a language halfway across the world, but
Yeah.
if there's another language nearby,
Mm.
more
Yeah.
people tend to be able to be bilingual when that
And,
other
and yeah,
linguistic
and that,
community's there.
and that's what I'm saying is that that means that there is a prominent Amorite community in or around Babylonia and Acadia
To justify
Yeah.
for this to
tablets,
exist.
yeah.
They aren't, like the Amorites aren't off living in China right now.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like this isn't from halfway around the world. This isn't even from, just the other side of Persia. This is something that is there with a sizable presence.
The other
I'm
thing
just saying
that
it's more common than we think. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
you guys are arguing the exact same point, and I
Yeah.
think it's important to move on. I know you're gonna say that it's different, but
Yeah.
you guys are arguing semantics over something very small. But the other thing that I think is important to highlight about this specific article is the fact that they do actually point out an area of potential criticism, but it's something that unfortunately is just a reality, is that the researchers primarily relied on photographs of the tablets, especially because both are a part of private collections, which means they're not usually open for researchers to go in and touch them, see them, use them.
Boo! Private
Well,
collections.
well, I understand that, as annoying as it is, if we're just trying to read what's etched on the surface, a photograph is sufficient, I would say.
Yeah. It sucks that the stuff is in a private collection, but it's good that it's being preserved.
Yeah,
That's my
and also the key point is researchers are being allowed to access it in a format. A lot of times these collections and things just basically
disappear.
lock it behind closed doors and say, I won't allow any images or anything of what I have because it's mine.
Yeah, but I think that's a great point to wrap up this Reacts video, because we talked about a lot of the important points.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you guys enjoyed watching, please be sure to subscribe, and please check out our new web store, Humanitarian Collections.
Yep, Humanitarian Collections is current. It's a charitable
endeavor.
Web store. Yeah, that's the word. I can't say that. It's a charitable web store with donations currently going to the Trevor Project, an organization dedicated to suicide prevention among LGBTQ youth, and all of our products there feature art by LGBTQ artists. So be sure to check it out and
help support a
give a
great
little
cause.
money on on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next video.